I'm someone who wants to be the best, right? And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. So that's why, I'm seriously considering that limb lengthening surgery.
Like I said, guys, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some good influence. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what I did. I'm crazy, right? I'm the crazy guy.
On the 14th of November 2025, a 19-year-old live streamer broke the kick donation record, over $35,000 in a single stream. He was collaborating with Sneeko and Aden Ross, and just weeks earlier, he'd casually admitted to using methamphetamine for his cheekbones.
You also, wait, is it true you do meth? Somebody told me you do meth too.
I do meth, yes. So I do meth to, basically suppress my appetite and try to get leaner.
His name is Braden Peters, but online he goes by Clavicular. And while most teenagers worry about acne and awkward first dates, he spent the last 5 years systematically destroying his body in pursuit of the perfect face. He started injecting testosterone at 14, permanently shutting down his natural hormone production. He was expelled from university after steroids were found in his dorm.
When I got expelled from university, we're trying to help you by telling you God's honest truth. Here's the steroids I did. Here's the steroids I'm doing. Someone fucking had to go ahead and get me kicked out of school.
And now he's planning to spend over $100,000 having his skull surgically reconstructed and his legs broken to grow 4 inches taller.
Why are you spending $100,000 on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6"?
That is more about just presence, right? You walk into a room, people notice, right? You're standing in the middle of a club, you're an outlier, right? Because people will come up to me, they'll say, oh, well, 6'2", that's already very tall. But in terms of percentiles, it's only 91st percentile.
To his 118,000 Instagram followers, he's proof that you can literally rebuild yourself from the ground up. To his critics, he's the poster child for everything that's gone wrong with young men online.
I've been hyper aware that, over the course of development, there were some points in my life where I really was very suboptimal in terms of my aesthetics, but I was okay with that because I knew that there was things that I could do and I knew that the measures would be extreme.
But here's the thing, Clavicular isn't an anomaly, he's a symptom, and the disease has a name. Born December 17th, 2005 in Miami, Florida, Clavicular, real name reportedly Braden, started like a lot of guys in this space. Overweight, bad skin, insecure, but unlike most teenagers who just suffer through it, he decided to do something radical.
Now guys, you see that? This one you've probably never seen before, but we're actually gonna give him hollow cheeks and contour his face.
At 14 years old, he ordered testosterone off the internet.
I started with 300 milligrams of testosterone, and I did that for a while, up until I was 16. And then I experimented with a couple of orals.
For context, a normal TRT dose for an adult man with clinically low testosterone is between 100 to 200 milligrams per week. This was a 14-year-old self-medicating at supraphysiological levels because he wanted to lose weight faster and look better. The results were dramatic. The acne cleared, the weight dropped, his face seemed to transform, but there was a cost.
I am infertile, but I'm not able to have a kid right now, but if I wanted to, there's a protocol I can put in place to be immediately good again.
Wait, why are you infertile right now?
So it's just like a negative feedback loop when you're not needing to produce testosterone anymore.
When you flood your body with external testosterone, especially during puberty, your natural production shuts down. In Clavicular's case, that shutdown appears to be complete.
So you're not producing any testosterone naturally?
No.
None?
No.
Oh, I'm not taking TRT, bro.
Well, how do you think it works? You just don't, your body realizes we're at a certain level we don't need anymore, so it stops reducing it.
He claims he can restart production with the right protocol. Medical experts would strongly disagree, but we'll get to that. By 2024, Clavicular had built a following on YouTube and TikTok. His Instagram bio reads, "I help people glow up. DM me coach for Looksmaxxing guidance." He wasn't just transformed, he was selling the transformation. And then, in November 2024, someone on one of the forums decided to take revenge. A user doxed him to his university. Campus security raided his dorm. They found his stash, peptides, steroids, everything. He was expelled. Most 19-year-olds would see that as rock bottom, but Clavicular saw it as an opportunity. Before we go any further, let's talk about what looksmaxing actually is. Because if you're over 25, there's a good chance you've never heard of it. Looksmaxxing. The term comes from incel message boards in the 2010s. It means exactly what it sounds like, maximizing your looks, doing everything possible to become more physically attractive. On one end, this is completely benign. Washing your face, getting a haircut, going to the gym. The looksmaxing community calls this soft-maxing. Then there's mewing, this idea that you can reshape your jaw by pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth. The evidence is contested, but it's mostly harmless. But then there's hard-maxing. Hard-maxing is where things get dark. We're talking steroids, human growth hormone, peptides like MK677, prescription stimulants for appetite suppression, plastic surgery, jaw implants, limb lengthening surgery, and yes, even bone smashing.
What about bone smashing? Does one dude keep spamming that the whole time?
Bone smashing, yeah, bone smashing is amazing, but
What is that?
so it's where you're gonna punch yourself in the face. I know it sounds crazy, but just bear with me here. So you're gonna brace your head and you punch yourself in the face.
You're joking, right?
No, I swear to God.
Bone smashing is exactly what it sounds like. The theory is that if you repeatedly strike your face with a blunt object, you'll create microfractures that heal back stronger and more defined, like a jawline workout.
According to Wolff's Law, the bone is gonna grow back stronger. And not only that, but you're also getting a lot of inflammation and swelling. So it makes your cheekbones look a lot bigger. So you get like an acute boost before you go to the club.
Yeah.
It's fucking legit.
Orthopedic surgeons have called this medically nonsensical and warned about risks including permanent nerve damage, facial paralysis, and blood vessel damage that could be fatal. And here's the crucial part. The people doing this aren't 30-year-old bodybuilders. The primary audience for looksmaxing content is teenage boys. Kids as young as 14 are posting on forums, asking strangers to rate their market value. The forums use a rating scale from 1 to 10. A 1 to 3 is subhuman. A 4 is a low-tier normie. A 7 is a chad-lite. An 8 is a chad. If you're wondering where these terms come from, incel culture. The black pill ideology has been linked to multiple mass shootings. Looksmaxing is the positive offshoot. Instead of giving up, you optimize. But the underlying worldview hasn't changed. And now, thanks to TikTok, it's mainstream. Before we go deeper into Clavicular's story, we need to understand the ecosystem he emerged from, because he's not the only one doing this. He's just the most extreme. Let's start with Dylan Latham. He's 19. After getting dumped in high school, he started posting self-improvement content, gym routines, skincare, that kind of thing.
Tell you how to control your lymphatic system to actually make yourself look better. With that being said, let me tell you how your lymphatic system can actually make you look worse.
His videos use language like "this is making you ugly" and "get a smaller nose." To date, his clips have nearly 98 million likes and over 1 billion views. He now runs a hairspray brand and makes 6 figures monthly. He skipped college to do this full time.
Not too long ago, the New York Times interviewed me and made an article about looksmaxing. If you don't know what looksmaxing is, you probably should by now. It's mostly guys just doing everything in their power to look better. Now, what people don't realize is this is going to change the beauty standard for guys forever.
AFP reported that Latham misleadingly told his 1.7 million followers to whiten their teeth by applying hydrogen peroxide with a Q-tip, something dentists warn can damage tooth enamel and gums.
I recommend doing that. Second thing you can do is mix hydrogen peroxide and baking soda. You can find both of these ingredients at the store. Mixing them together is going to make your teeth significantly whiter. Baking soda scrapes off the surface stains, and the hydrogen peroxide just makes your teeth overall more white.
Latham is relatively moderate by looksmaxing standards. Soft-maxing mostly, products you can buy at a drugstore. Then there's Hamza Ahmed, British, 2.23 million YouTube subscribers. He's the most prominent manosphere influencer in the UK. His content covers dating, fitness, entrepreneurship, standard self-improvement stuff on the surface.
If I could go back, age 17, I'm not sure if I'd totally stop younger Hamza from getting into the red pill, because the way the Superior Man doesn't talk about, like building success, doesn't talk about here's how to lift weights to...
If you want to have extreme results in business, you want to get to 10K a month as a young man, then you need to live an extreme life. I don't know if you ever really thought about this to yourself, but the guys who are on 10K a month when they're young, they're very special.
But dig deeper, and you find videos warning that men are more feminine than ever, and suggesting men should not show emotion. He charges $999 for lifetime access to his Adonis School community. The Guardian branded him a promoter of misogyny. Researchers found his content expresses pickup artist ideology that portrays women as objects that need to be conquered.
The title it one more time. You clicked on this video because there's a girl who you say is an 11 out of 10, when actually she's probably like a 5.5 out of 10. She's not interested
apart from one, which is that she keeps texting you back when you text her.
Hamza represents the respectable face of this world. Gym, discipline, cold showers, no fap, but he's also a gateway.
The way that I do it is that I turn on the hot water, get in there, you know, clean myself, use some shampoo, some body wash and stuff, and I slowly just start turning on the cold shower to the point that it's actually very refreshing and it's not like a painful thing that I'm doing for like, oh, David Goggins. Or
his audience skews young, and once you're in the algorithm, the content gets darker. This is the world Clavicular emerged from. Dylan Latham's negativity-driven engagement. Hamza Ahmed's become a top 1% man messaging. But while these guys stayed relatively safe, soft-maxing, dating advice, self-improvement platitudes, Clavicular took it all the way. Clavicular didn't just adopt the looksmaxing philosophy, he became its most extreme practitioner.
Sure, so the issue with thumb pulling is when you're using your thumbs to pull your palate a little bit wider, you're really not actually causing any bone remodeling. All you're doing is moving around soft tissue and moving around your teeth especially.
His content has included guides on MK677, a growth hormone secretagogue that's not approved for human use, testosterone optimization, and what he calls pharmaceutical self-improvement.
I started with 300 milligrams of testosterone, and I did that for a while, up until I was 16. And then I experimented with a couple of orals.
He's admitted to using trenbolone, an extremely powerful anabolic steroid used in veterinary medicine, which caused hair loss and, in his words, made me a little crazy.
Because it is a little bit ridiculous, and no one should be going bald with the stuff that's available now. But, you know, a lot of the stuff for hair loss is only preventative, right? There's really not a lot you can do once it's already gone.
And then there's the methamphetamine. He claims he's using Desoxyn, prescription dextromethamphetamine, in low doses as an appetite suppressant for hollow cheeks.
So yeah, I was essentially doing meth for hollow cheeks, guys. I just to come clean and let you know what I was doing. I think I'm probably the only one who's ever actually did that in my entire life.
The forums were divided. One post reads, "Who could have guessed using meth would descend you and ruin your health?" But here's where it gets even more disturbing. In a clip that went viral, Clavicular was shown injecting his 17-year-old girlfriend with fat-dissolving peptides.
Hit me up, nigga. I'm chilling here in Tel Aviv. If you
I can already see clips. Clav injects meth on I'm crazy.
Chat, we're looksmaxing her. We're looksmaxing her. It's all good.
Let that sink in. A 19-year-old influencer injecting his teenage girlfriend with unregulated compounds on camera as content. The FDA considers many of these peptides to be biologics, the most complicated and potentially high-risk type of drugs. They've added over 24 peptides to a list of substances that shouldn't even be produced by pharmacies due to safety risks. And he's promoting this to an audience of teenagers. Everything we've talked about so far is theoretically reversible, but Clavicular's next move isn't. He's planning to have his skull reconstructed. Double jaw surgery, bimaxillary osteotomy, is a serious procedure. Surgeons cut through the upper and lower jaw, reposition them, and fix them with plates and screws. Risks include permanent numbness, nerve damage, bite issues, and infection.
So yeah, I'm getting a double jaw surgery, not too far from now. And basically what that does is they come in, they're gonna cut along my upper jaw and cut along my lower jaw and advance it, right? So make me look a little bit Chad, make me look a little better.
Your chin's gonna go out more.
According to forum discussions, his plan includes Lefort 1 and possibly Lefort 2 osteotomies, a BSSO to reposition the lower jaw, genioplasty, and custom implants designed by someone known as Giant Implants. The surgeon, reportedly Talal Kandırlı in Turkey. A student op-ed put it this way: he's a 19-year-old influencer planning an expensive double jaw surgery despite already fitting hegemonic masculine beauty ideals. And it doesn't stop there. He's announced plans for limb-lengthening surgery, breaking your leg bones and letting new bone grow in the gap. The goal, go from 6 feet 2 inches to 6 feet 6 inches. The cost, around $100,000. But to Clav, this is merely an investment that will pay off one day.
We know that every single inch, you grow past 6 foot, you're adding like an additional $500 to your average annual income in America. So we know that taller is better. We know that fat is worse.
Yes, he really thinks that an extra $500 is worth getting surgery for. It's hard to talk about Clavicular without talking about the controversy. He's gone viral multiple times for using racial slurs on stream. He's appeared wearing a hat with the N-word written on it. Fellow streamers like Cheezer have said Clavicular motivated them to start using the word more freely.
I'm not gonna lie.
Clav has motivated me to start ripping the N-word, bro. I'm gonna be fully transparent with y'all boys, and nobody's gonna do anything about it. On God, I say it off stream. On God, I do. So,
Wired's Confessions of a Black Looksmaxxer named Clavicular as one of the movement's major influencers and noted he's been accused of racism, including allegedly implying black people have inferior looks. He didn't respond to their request for comment. In July 2025, a thread announced Clavicular's career is over. Others disagreed. Unless he gets banned off TikTok, nothing will really change for him. They were right. By November 2025, he was breaking donation records on Kick. During his stream with Sneeko, Clavicular explained,
Not exactly. You could just buy it on the Clearing app. I don't like to talk about like the sourcing too much. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out if I could pull it.
He also mentioned breaking up with his girlfriend to focus on streaming.
Clavicular is now single. Chat. I just broke up with my girlfriend. L girlfriend. W fucking community. Because how am I supposed to live stream if I've got some fucking girl spamming my? Oh my God, you're doing this.
Here's what's easy to do. Point at Clavicular, call him crazy, move on. But that misses the point. According to clinical psychologist Tom Hildebrandt at Mount Sinai, eating disorder diagnoses in young men have reached parity with young women. Krista Fisher from the Movember Institute told Parents Magazine, there is a real lack of healthy narratives around masculinity, especially for young men. Research from the University of Portsmouth found that incel accounts are rebranding through looksmaxing to bypass bans and appeal to wider audiences. The algorithms create strong pathways from self-improvement content to black pill ideology. This is the ecosystem Clavicular emerged from, and this is the ecosystem he's now amplifying to millions.
I looksmax purely from a logical standpoint. I'm trying to improve the quality of my life, and I have come to the conclusion that this is the best means to do so.
Does he believe everything he says? Is some of it trolling, marketing? Probably all of the above, but here's what's undeniable. Hundreds of thousands of teenage boys are watching a 19-year-old who made himself infertile at 14, uses prescription meth, injects his teenage girlfriend with peptides, and plans to have his skull reconstructed, and they're taking notes.
Whereas, you know, the meth is a little bit better in terms of its dopamine release, you know, just being targeted for the brain, crosses the blood-brain barrier a lot quicker.
He's not just an influencer, he's a business, and business is good. Clavicular didn't create the forces that made him possible. He didn't invent incel culture or the black pill. He didn't design the algorithms, but he did figure out how to monetize it. And that's the darkest part. In a system that rewards engagement above everything, the most extreme voice wins. It's easy to laugh at a teenager spending a fortune chasing the perfect jawline. It's harder to admit that the apps we all use every day are quietly convincing millions of boys that their real face will never be enough. The algorithm won't show you this side of the story, so subscribe to stay ahead of what's really happening. And is Clavicular a victim of the system, or is he the predator feeding off the next generation? Comment below. I'm curious where you stand.